Greetings, it is September 30th, 2012. I'm with my 2009 drawing, which is in ink, India ink, white pencil, gouache, which is a type of watercolor, and colored pencil called Giorgio Bassani, and 4 scenes of Ferrara, Italy, drawn in 2009, framed since. It's about 34 inches in height by 30 inches in width. It has not been exhibited yet, but I plan to include it in the April exhibit of Holocaust and human rights art at the Seattle Central Community College exhibit I'll be having. There'll be a companion exhibit of Warsaw, mainly Warsaw ghetto-themed artworks drawn from the Under the Wings of God series at the Hillel Jewish Student Center near the University of Washington campus in Seattle. Both exhibits will have about 20 artworks. Bassani, this is drawn from a photograph of the late author who died in 2000. He was born in 1915 and raised in Ferrara. He's most famous for this book, although he wrote a number of other works. The Garden of the Finzi-Continis, which was made into a widely acclaimed film by the late Italian movie director Vittorio De Sica in 1971, which is fairly easily available at public libraries and elsewhere in DVD. Bassani's other works include, in English translation, at least 5 stories of Ferrara, Gold-Rimmed Spectacles, The Heron Behind the Door, a story collection called The Smell of Hay, Rolls-Royce and Other Poems, and Italian Stories. The Garden of the Finzi-Continis focuses on the Finzi-Contini family, a very wealthy Italian Jewish family in Ferrara, who were all eventually, with the exception of the son, because he died right shortly before the war, deported to Auschwitz, where they were murdered. And the story deals in part also with Bassani's romantic love interest in Nicole, which was turned down by her. He and his family, Bassani, survived the war in hiding in Italy. 96 of Ferrara's 300 Jews were deported to concentration and death camps during the war. 5 of those who were deported were alive at the end of the war. The imagery, so there's, I mentioned 4 scenes of Ferrara. On the lower left here, we have the entryway and door as I depicted it, drew it from a black and white photograph of the Jewish school in Ferrara, which is where Bassani taught after the anti-Semitic race laws that went into effect under Mussolini and the fascist government, which barred Jews from public teaching, among other occupations in which they were banned. The imagery from here on, including this like stone wall, the cobblestone pavement, all the buildings and storefronts, apartment flats over here, are from this photograph, which I had copied from a book by a now deceased American scholar named Marilyn Schneider. She taught for many years at the University of Minnesota, died in 2002, 10 years ago. She authored a book which I had gotten from the public library called Vengeance of the Victim, Hero and Symbol in Giorgio Bassani's Fiction, which was published by the University of Minnesota in 1986. The castle, see the stone wall here, was to the left here called the Este Castle, and there was a infamous massacre that took place there in 1943 during the war. This street here was known as the Corso Roma, It's now called the Corso Martiri della Libertà. These are photocopies I did from the photo in Marilyn Schneider's book, which I'm grateful to have found. The imagery in the bottom here, I did inspired by holding. I rewatched the film in VHS this summer. I did this in 2009, so I could put it on hold still, and took some photographs. In the very closing scene of the movie, the Vittorio De Sica film, there's a scene where the camera pans through the iron fence gate surrounding the Finzi-Continis estate, which, assuming, was how the estate looked at the time he did the film. I have to write the Jewish Documentation Center in Milano, or someone at the University of Ferrara, to find out if this estate is still boarded up as such as it appears to have been at the time the film was made. This image here was also includes kind of the perimeter of my television set watching the film. There's a closing scene, one of the closing scenes towards the very end. The Finzi-Continis family, the parents, and Nicole are being taken away by the Gestapo, and you can see from inside the car, looking out a side or rear window of the car they're in, and you can see the front of the house. These are the steps there and the doors, and I don't remember exactly what this was, but something structural in the right by the doorway of the house at the estate. That's the story. This is one of my own personal favorite works on Shoah themes that's not part of the monumental Under the Wings of God Holocaust art series that I'm working on since late 1991. There you have it.